Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank the organizing committees and the delegates and chairmen and students. Good afternoon, students. I hope everybody are feeling drowsy and after the lunch, and mine is the last talk, so I'll not take much of your time. My talk is about environmental pollutants which are causing the toxicity. Here I'm talking about arsenic and microplastics, which is the major concern in the ecosystem, which gives the adverse health effects in the human beings and also other living beings. So coming to the introduction, arsenic. Over 200 billion people in the world have been exposed to arsenic through drinking water and other various sources. And it is also a naturally occurring carcinogenic metalloid. And it is considered as a group 1 carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. And while arsenic is a natural metalloid, we come to talk about microplastics, which are tiny plastic particles less than 5 millimeters. These are found everywhere in the ecosystems, and we can say that we live in the world of plastics. It is estimated that by 2050, 12,100 million metric tons of plastic debris will be accumulated globally through plastic waste. So the major concerns arise here. How does it, next slide. So coming to what is synergetic toxicity and the role of antioxidants over here is, synergetic toxicity is nothing but the combined effect of various so coming to synergetic toxicity, it is the combined toxicity which has been created by more than one pollutants. So it becomes very important for us to study the synergetic toxicity because, as you know, humans have been exposed to multiple toxicants from the environment, and the synergetic toxicity is more effective than the individual exposures. So, and here comes the antioxidants as a tool to reduce and mitigate the toxic effect of the environmental pollutants. Next. So you can see various sources. Next slide. So this is here in the picture you can see in the first picture how India has been affected, has been exposed. Indian population has been exposed by arsenic, and you can see various sources of arsenic through natural and anthropogenic sources. So the main natural source for arsenic is through volcanic eruptions and also through underground waters. So underground water is a major source of arsenic, as it is being used as a drinking water in most of the vulnerable places. And anthropogenic sources like industrial waste, and it has been used in the wood preservatives and while manufacturing the glass and mining industries. Next slide. Here you can see how various parts of the world has been affected by arsenic. Next slide. And here comes the major concern to study about arsenic, as India, one of the states of India has been hit with the major exposure to arsenic. How it is important for us to study arsenic is because the staple food of Indians is rice. And the rice which has been cultivated from the contaminated soil through various industrial waste which has been exposed to arsenic, and then the cultivation of rice has been carried out through irrigation of underground waters which has arsenic exposure. So there is contamination in the grown rice, and already contaminated rice is being cooked through the water which is being contaminated with arsenic. So as Indians, for us it becomes an important topic to study about the harmful effects of arsenic, as one of the states has been hit with a major exposure. So here you can see how the arsenic is being contaminating the water globally, and what are the health hazards and how it is being taken care of. I'm not going in detail because of the want of time. And microplastics, I don't have to tell you the source of microplastics. And there are various types of microplastics. I won't go into the detail of those. And the plastics, which are at the larger level, is being degraded into microplastics through abiotic and biotic weatherings. And it has been transported through various transformations like inhalation, digestion, and through dermal contact also. Next slide. Okay, here you can see how the plastic is being recycled in the ecosystem, and you can also see how through the sources it is being transmitted to the humans, and what are the toxicities and other various health results it has been giving us. Next slide. So coming to the mechanism of arsenic toxicity, when we are exposed to arsenic, the mechanism occurring will lead to the increase in oxidative stress, which will lead to the increase in reactive oxygen species, which will reduce the effect of your antioxidant defense mechanism. So that will lead to the damage of your DNA, which lead to disruption of various systems of your body, and then it will also lead to various carcinogens. And coming to the mechanism of microplastics, here the main effect is it affects the tissues by accumulating in the organs physically. So here also the oxidative stress is being increased, and it disrupts the apoptosis markers and various pathways, which leads to various physical damages of the organs and cause to carcinogen. Next. Coming to the synergetic toxicity, as you can see, the individual exposure is causing such toxicity. When these both have been combined together, they have enormous effect. And why we are studying arsenic and microplastics is because microplastics has the ability to bind the arsenic from the environment and carry it through the and also it can carry the pathogens through it, and it can transfer it to the living beings, causing the effect more. Coming to the mechanism of damage, these synergetic effects causes increase in the oxidation stress, there will be an imbalance. Next slide, okay. There will be an imbalance between reactive oxygen species and antioxidant defenses. Synergetic exposure will enhance this imbalance. Okay, and this will lead to cellular damages, inflammations, and chronic diseases. Here you can see in the picture how the toxins are affecting the cells and causing the imbalance between the antioxidants and the ROS, which leads to increase in oxidative stress, which leads to inflammation, apoptosis, tissue damage, and death of the cell. So coming to the impact on human health, it gives you gastrointestinal toxicity, reproductive toxicity, neurological effects, and carcinogenicity. And environmental impact, these are environmental toxins, so they affect majorly in the marine system, as microplastics have been accumulated more in the aquatic marine lives, and it is also contaminating the soils and disrupting the ecosystem. Coming to the natural antioxidants, these act as a defenders because when you introduce antioxidants to the where there is toxicity, these reduces the oxidative stress by scavenging the free radicals. When there is toxicity, your cells will release free radicals, which increases the oxidative stress. So, when antioxidants are introduced, these antioxidants scavenges these free radicals and reduces the oxidative stress by increasing the defense mechanism. So, that's how the natural, next slide, okay. That's how the antioxidants work. They neutralizes reactive oxygen species, and then they stable the oxidative stress. and antioxidants also are capable of regenerating other antioxidants. So you can see they inhibit oxidative enzymes. I'm not going in depth. So this is a chemical reaction where you can see the animal has been injected with arsenic and microplastics, and it causes toxicity, and you can see the parameters. It is disrupting the pathways, and then there is changes in the biochemical parameters. I won't go in depth. It is a big topic actually, and it is also increasing the inflammatory markers, and then the hormonal levels are disrupted, and then it is also showing changes in the apoptotic marker expressions, and then there will be histopathological changes also in the cells. So I'm going very fast. So how do we apply these antioxidants is through dietary supplementations and through food products and then through therapeutics. Coming to the challenges, we have to implement strict regulations to limit arsenic pollution and plastic waste, especially in vulnerable ecosystem and communities with high exposure, and then creating awareness among the public, and then ensuring antioxidants are effectively absorbed by the body. And coming to further research, more research on how this long-term effects of environmental pollutants are causing the disease in the human health has to be taken into care, and investigation of different plastics in absorbing. There are different types of plastics, so you have to investigate all of them, how they are absorbing the other environmental pollutants and causing the hazards in the environment. Coming to the conclusion, I would like to say the synergetic toxicity, which is being produced by the environmental pollutants, becomes a major concern because these not only affect the human health, but it also affecting the ecosystem. And here comes the powerful tool which is very easily available, like our natural antioxidants, to mitigate these toxic properties. And I would like to say, by bridging the gap between these inerties in the laboratory and implementing these into the real life would help us save the earth and provide a sustainable future for our environment. Thank you.